Recently, I finally understood how different types of browsers impact your digital fingerprint and how a strict, privacy-oriented browser, one that reveals less about you, can actually make you more visible if used incorrectly. A strong warning: if you live in a country with a very strict national firewall, restrictive laws, and legal consequences, please do not use this video as an absolute guide for anonymity. To be clear, the goal of this video is not to determine which browser provides the absolute best anonymity. Instead, it is about combining different strategies to reduce your digital fingerprint and throw off the standard tracking algorithms. Anonymity is a different subject. While good privacy strengthens anonymity, it won't make you completely invisible, especially if you misuse it. When browsing Reddit, I've stumbled upon an interesting website called isolating.org, which measures what your browser reveals about you and how quiet you are against a standard tracking algorithm. I do not own the website. Shout out to the Reddit user who created it. I am not promoting it, and this content is not sponsored. So out of curiosity, I've tested several browsers installed on my system. That is LibreWolf, Mozilla Firefox, Tor browser, and Brave. To my surprise, all browsers except Brave scored a high exposure rate. On this platform, the higher the score, the more unique and exposed your browser is for standard tracking algorithm. Naturally, I've struggled a bit to understand why a hardcore privacy browser like Tor scored so high compared to Brave, which is Chromium based and does not even hide your IP when in standard mode. This is a paradox. The explanation will be that Tor browser is so strict and rigid that the fewer details it shares, the more unique its signature can become under certain conditions. Privacy through total obscurity can backfire, making it easier for an algorithm to single you out. For instance, when a browser blocks basic hardware access or creates time zone conflicts, it draws attention because normal browsers do not behave this way. If a unique hardware detail, like a specific monitor refresh rate, leaks through, your entropy shifts and you become more easy to track. As a simple analogy, you are a ninja hiding amongst regular people, but your mask has a small unique defect. The fact that you are dressed as a ninja already raises suspicion, and that tiny defect on your mask, the monitor's refresh rate, makes you instantly recognizable amongst other ninjas. So now let's look why Brave browser scored lower in exposure. First, Brave browser has a much larger user base than Tor, meaning your digital signature naturally blends in into a bigger crowd. Second, Brave acts like a normal browser. It is less restrictive and allows access to basic data. It feeds the algorithm valid data, but that data is completely useless for long-term tracking. So Brave acts more like a chameleon, while Tor acts like a ninja. Now, how can we combine these two approaches for better privacy? Brave includes an option to open a private window using the Tor network. When I've tested Brave via Tor on isolating.org, it scored a very low exposure number. This setup allows you to route your traffic through the Tor network while using a browser that mimics normal user behavior, decreasing its overall signature. However, keep in mind that Brave in Tor mode does not support Tor bridge mode. This means that your internet service provider, your ISP, will see that you are connecting to the Tor network. I will make a video on this later on. Therefore, if you are not doing anything extremely sensitive and you do not live in a country with extreme censorship laws, the fact that your ISP sees you are using Tor network, it should not pose a problem. Now, I would say that for a casual user that simply wants privacy and a level of anonymity while also retaining decent internet access speed, Brave browser in Tor mode would be the most effective choice. Sites and companies cannot track you, cannot determine your location. The ISP does not know what you are actually doing. Ads are being blocked while you're still blending in as a casual internet user without raising any standard algorithmic alarms. If you are using the internet from a public network, or if someone tries to passively sniff your traffic, it will be highly encrypted and the capture packets will only display a Tor node connection. Another strong warning: if you plan to access dark websites, then Tor browser is still critical for your safety, because you are no longer in a regular crowd as a ninja, but in a crowd where everyone is a ninja and it has to remain this way. I hope this video provided some light on how a digital fingerprint behaves in different circumstances, and stay safe.